go there, lollygaggers. Ooh, opening week has begun. We're actually getting into the third series of the season soon. So, Samantha, let's get this off. By the way, again, this is Lollygagging Sports. I always forget this. We're Lollygagging Sports. I am Bo Reed along with Samantha Button and Matthew Irby. Samantha, I did want to kick off. I've got a serious question for you, which I fully expect a serious answer. Because all the talk right now, week one of a lot of weeks of baseball still to play, is the fact that Tampa is 6-0. Are we counting that as 6 wins? Because they swept the Tigers and they swept the Nationals, and now they get. Are we actually counting that as 6 wins? I feel like we need to grade this on a curve. As a collectively very happy podcast right now is what I think that we are, since our teams are doing very well. But the Guardians and the Rangers are both doing great. They're both in first place. I believe you guys in first place.
Yeah.
For
first,
I believe.
So tie with the Halos.
But, we had to do some work to get there, right? And then I feel like Tampa was just like, somebody was just like, here are 6 free wins for you. So, although respect Detroit, because Detroit beat Houston twice. So I just want to put that out there. You say your thank yous to the Detroit Tigers for winning, 2 out of the 17 games they're going to win all season long against the Houston Astros. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, can we all calm down about the Rays? You remember the year that the Royals started the season 8-0, and then they finished with 60-something wins in the cellar of the AL Central? I remember that. People were really excited about the Royals, and it was, guys. So, I'm not suggesting the Rays are going to be that bad. I'm just saying, there's undefeated and there's undefeated. You know what I mean? So, I'm looking at Cleveland and Texas and Atlanta. And some of the other teams that, the Dodgers that have put some pretty convincing records up early that look really good. It just, man, come on. The Nationals, the Tigers, dude, I'm not going to take the wins away from you, but let's not get overexcited about this. Let's not. Best rotation in baseball. And you're like, how on earth would you know that based on these 2 series?
I mean, they're doing really well against the AAA lineups they're facing in Detroit and Washington. So, I don't know. I just wanted to get that out there. Irby, anything you want to add to that before we get into our 2 things segment?
Not just that, but it continues because it's now Oakland as well. So fully expect them to be 9-0. But hey, enjoy it. Fine, whatever. Enjoy it. The toll will be coming. The toll will be coming.
Absolutely. All right. So, for those of you that are new to the program, we have this segment we like to run during baseball season because there's so much going on. There's so many different talking points. There's the baseball. It just overwhelms for an entire summer. So what we like to do is kind of have a little bit of a conversation that the 3 of us will spot something. We'll see something. We'll find a cool little thing that we want to chat about on the show each week, and we'll bring that up. Now, sometimes we know ahead of time, sometimes we don't. That's all kinds of fun and games. But typically we do 3. For the moment, we're only going to do 2, just for time constraint reasons. So, Samantha, let's kick it off with you. What are your 2 things that you've noticed so far with opening week of baseball?
All right. Well, let's start with the new rules. Let's just want to get sort of a temperature check here on how everybody feels about this. Certainly, if the aim was 100% to shorten games, then for the most part that has worked. I think we were down at the end of the weekend by an average of 27 minutes. So that's significant. I mean, unless if you don't like the pitch clock shortening the game, then perhaps the Cleveland Guardians are the team for you because they just go into extra innings and you solve it that way in 3.5-hour baseball games. Particularly when we were on the West Coast and we all have to stay up till 1 a.m. So that's awesome. But for the most part, it looks like it's working, at least in that capacity. And to my way of thinking, it's actually working really well just in general, too. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the other new rules later as well. But, what we're getting here is like it's hilarious to me that we have all these like olds complaining about this. There's no clock in baseball, and you're like, but the baseball that we're getting as a result of this clock actually looks a lot more like what traditionalists and everybody on this podcast is a little bit of a traditionalist, at least when it comes to baseball. That's what we're getting. We're getting these shorter, more exciting games. If you go back and kind of look through sort of what it was like in history, the average game in 1924 was an hour and 24 minutes long. Like it took until the 50s to get to the 2.5 hour mark, which is, I think we all kind of agree, is probably the sweet spot, right? 2.5 hours. And it's also, when you put it together with all the other rules, we're getting a lot more exciting baseball. It's not just, they really, really look like we're going to move away from the 3-2 outcomes type of stuff. And we'll talk a little bit about what it's done for offense and the style of baseball that's played as well. But for the most part, like, I'm happy with this. I think it's great. I mean, I will say this much. The umpires seem to be among those who are having the most trouble catching up here. We've seen a number of sort of concerning, like, show situations here. And it's like, yes, we know you're getting used to this too. The broadcasters also hilariously seem to be struggling a bit with this. They don't know what to do either, but that's mostly just entertaining. So on the whole, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty pleased with this. I like what's going on here. I mean, Manfred get something right, you guys? Did Rob Manfred do something right? He might have, because I like the baseball I'm seeing so far. And, hasn't exactly shortened my team's games, but the other games that I watched involving other people's teams have been shorter and snappier. And, we just, and I think it's important to mention that for this to work, we didn't want it to necessarily shorten every baseball game that gets played, right? What we wanted it to do is shorten the games that didn't need to go on as long as they did. So when you get into these games, like we've seen some really exciting, like 10-9 games and, 12-11 games, those games have still been in excess of 3 hours. And we want that, right? Like if the teams are scoring a lot of runs and it's back and forth and there's a lot of lead changes, we don't want those games to be shorter, and they're not. But the games that have been shorter are the ones where there's maybe not as much going on, and we're just kind of cutting the fat out. And that to me is a sign that it's working. We didn't want every single game to be rushed. That's not what's happening at all. It looks to me like this is a really nice balance. If half the games are shortened significantly and half are hovering right around what kind of used to be the average, then that means this thing is working exactly like it's supposed to.
I'll say this. I was one of the more skeptical of the pitch clock because I was concerned about how it was going to be implemented. Outside of a couple of shows, I think it's been fantastic. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at how effective the pitch clock has been. In fact, like today, I'm sitting there in the office. It's 2:00. I don't want to stay past 5, but I got the Rangers game on my TV, and I immediately think, oh wait, pitch clock. We'll be done by 5 unless there's extra innings. I just have to go home real fast in between innings. That's just it's already changing my mindset of what to expect for a length of the game. Now, if we could just figure out how to keep these umps for doing shows left and right, it might be downright perfect.
Yeah, Randy Rosenberg just threw both you guys out for just those comments.
Well,
you didn't even have to say.
We did go.
You didn't have to say D-bag. Yeah, so another ball. I'm with you guys. You got to catch up. Hopefully, there's a job being done well of these umpires if they're not keeping up. That we're going to have to make some replacements in the near future. But yeah, you got to keep up because it's fluid. I've been happy with it. Having watched on TV, I went to the Ranger game last night, and I was very pleased. But it did not feel, it felt like we're going. And, you mentioned about the day game. We get a day game, a getaway game, and, things are going. And it's really not taking from the game at all. Like, we've enjoyed everything. So, yes, I'm pleased. This has been a pretty decent transition. We got some issues, and we saw that very, very prominently in the Arizona-San Diego game. Tuesday afternoon, in which Manny Machado called time in time, but wasn't granted, so he was ejected for saying the D word. Like, really? That, like, 5th game of the season, 1st inning, the umpire's that offended? Like, yeah, we guess we can't fix everything.
Somewhere Crash Davis is very upset that is now the word you can't say without being tossed. Somewhere he's upset, Samantha. That's it. That's all I got.
No, that's. I feel like most umps wouldn't very well for that. Like, it's just. I think these guys are just getting a little bit uppity because to me, it's like it doesn't really have anything to do with that. It's that he knew he made a mistake. So.
So he said, "We're going to double down on my mistake." Yeah, that sounds like a major league up. What else do you have for us?
All right, so I was thinking we should probably discuss the minor league CBA. This is a huge deal, and it's interesting to me how sort of this was not nearly as like screaming headline-ish as I think it probably should have been. This is a big deal. Are they still underpaid? Yes, of course they are. But we have a new CBA for the minor leaguers with Major League Baseball, and of course, let's be realistic about this. Major League Baseball they're not trying to do the right thing here, right? They're just trying to back off calls in Congress to end the antitrust exemption. So, okay, it's good. But, we have, among other things, we're getting enhanced housing, whatever that means, unclear. A little fuzzy on that, but increased per diem, a joint drug agreement that gives players procedural rights for testing, and some help from MLBPA with NIL licensing. So all to the good. Some pay scale increases. These are pretty notable. I think it's important to recognize that everybody who was playing below AAA level was paid at a rate that is below the U.S. poverty line, which is $14,580. So nobody outside of the bonus babies who was below AAA was making that kind of money. So these are pretty significant jumps. Like Complex League went from $4,800 to $19,800, which is obviously still not enough money to live on, but it is a significant increase. Low A goes from $11,000 to $26,200, high A from $11,000 to $27,300, double A $13,800 to $30,250, and AAA, $17,500 to $35,800. So that's pretty significant. Major League Baseball will pay, I believe it was about $90 million to cover the increased wages. And a lot of the foot dragging that went on here was about the fact that, we've heard a lot out of the commissioner's office from baseball complaining about how they had to spend however many $1 billion to operate the minors. And it was only bringing in about $25 million in revenue. So, okay, it's not a profit maker. They forget that this is the system that feeds the thing that is incredibly profitable. So I think it's a bit disingenuous to say it's not profitable because it's all part of one machine. So it's now that we're sort of recognizing it in this sense by creating the CBA and changing the pay scale a little bit. I mean, that's the headliner, right, that everybody wants to say, oh, this is great, these guys are making more money. But I think the more important thing is that baseball is kind of folding the minors up more into what it is truly responsible for, as it should be, because you can't sit around and complain about how this particular arm of this thing isn't profitable. It's kind of like, I don't know, if you have a store and you're saying, well, it's not profitable that we have to pay someone to mop the floor of the store every night for when things get spilled on the floor by customers because we're not making any money by the janitor. But then, of course, if your floor is dirty and there's rats crawling around on the floor of your store, no one would want to shop there. So I don't know if this analogy is making sense or not, but basically you're going to have overhead, right? There are things that are overhead in a profitable business, and not every facet of that business is going to be profitable. Just like you don't make any money directly off the person who answers your phone, but someone has to answer the phones to direct the calls to, I don't know, a salesperson who then creates profit. It's just an idiotic business perspective to act like the minors aren't a moneymaker because the gate receipts aren't exceeding the operating costs when it's feeding the players to your extremely profitable major league teams. So, spare me the heroics of, oh, we're doing this at great cost to us. No, you're not. You're absolutely not. You're just doing it less cheaply than you were before because you didn't want Congress yanking your antitrust exemption.
I'm trying to figure out what enhanced housing means.
Yeah, it's
Because you know what that sounds like. It sounds like just lawyer speak that they toss in to make it sound good.
I can answer for you.
Oh, go ahead, please.
It's based upon players with children. AAA, and it really is only affecting AAA and AA players, but it's players with children are going to get basically their own rooms as opposed to players sharing rooms or having roommates. So husband with the wife and kids all can be together. That's the bulk of it. There is more to it, but that's essentially what it is. It's keeping families together. Is that the easiest way to say it?
I mean, but that's like horrendous though when you think about what this is, because that is exactly the same way that like cities talk about like their shelter systems. Like great news. Like we're not going to split up mom and the kids in the home. Oh my gosh, this is horrendous. Okay.
So yeah, it's a win, but it's not. It's one of those like, oh, we weren't doing that before. Like, problem fixed. But so one of the fun little things I saw when reading about. So we live in the world of NIL, and now minor league players have NIL privileges. Another fun one in the world of whoopsies is they now have the right to a second opinion. Probably should have had that one sooner, but whatever. It's fixed now.
Samantha, anything else you want to add there before we get into Irby's topics?
No. Although, it seems like the right time to mention, and I mentioned this on Twitter as well, but, speaking of minor league baseball, I got a book recommendation for you guys. Ryan McGee from ESPN got a book out, just came out, called The Circus of Baseball, which is a sort of a really fun book where he was, if you want to talk minor league pay scale, remember that everybody there is being paid badly. And granted, this certainly would have changed since he was an intern, but he was making $100 a week as an intern for the Asheville Tourists. $100 a week. So I'm sure it's a little better now, but it's probably something like $400 a week, which is still not great. So, just sort of a reminder that the entire minor league system is kind of like this, but very, very cool book, really fun. He's got some great stories. If you're not familiar with the Asheville Tourist area, a Houston Astros affiliate, but it is the ballpark there. Way back when was, of course, where they shot Bull Durham. So they did not shoot that at the Durham Bulls field. It was actually at the Asheville Tourist facility. So fun fact there, but great read if you want to, get into a little bit more of the lighter side of minor league baseball, if you will.
All right, Irby, how about you? What do you got for us?
Well, so the first one I want to jump, and this goes back to the rule stuff that Samantha was touching on before, and it's another one of those, and it was the increase, the 4.5 inches that we've talked about a couple times on here on the base path, that reduction with the larger bases. And whenever you're listening to the show, the numbers are going to change early on, effectively, small sample size, yada, yada, all that stuff. But we are already seeing roughly the equivalent of a stolen base a game. Like there's already that on top of last year, an extra stolen base a game, which doesn't sound particularly like a lot, but it actually is. The number after the first weekend was up 134%. It's gone down a little bit. We'll see how that number fluctuates, but essentially we have added a stolen base. You have added a stolen base, and in the game of baseball, that can be huge. I know it doesn't sound like it, but it really can be a big deal. So we are seeing teams, and I think the number goes up because I think right now you've got a lot of teams that are just towing that line, just tiptoeing that line, and there's plenty of good data out there that shows that stolen bases increase as the year goes on. So I anticipate that number to keep going up, but it has generated some offense. I'm here for it. I know that we may hear some complaints from maybe the Ricky Hendersons of the world, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And that's probably the thing I like about it is that we're looking at one stolen base extra, and that can make a difference. The fun ones will be as we get further into it to keep watching that number to see if our double play numbers go down. Those are going to be the funs if we get more fielders choices instead of double plays. That'll be a fun one that we need a little bit more data before doing any kind of analysis there.
Well, look, so obviously stolen bases are up. Samantha, is that something you think teams are just trying this out a little more just to see how things will go? Like it's kind of like the new toy. You play with it more than you do anything else you got. And as the season goes along, it'll kind of mellow out, or is this the new norm?
Well, I think it's sort of the new norm. I mean, so far what seems to be happening is that teams that were already built to take advantage of a rule like this are taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
And everybody else is kind of playing catch up. So it's interesting, the newer model, the teams that are building towards being more focused on contact hitting and less worried about power and less worried about on-base percentage, particularly with regard to walks. We're already kind of set up for this. So when you find those teams that have built that way in a way that was perhaps, already showing itself to be a workable model for baseball, even in this day and age, and is only going to become more so under this, is that's where we're seeing, the bulk of when you go back and look at, well, who's stealing bases. It's mostly people who were probably going to do that anyway. They're now going to do it a little bit more. But the rest of the league is going to catch up a little bit on this. And I think when you put it together with the new shift rules, like we're just going to see, and hopefully we're having a bit of a juice ball here. They're cracking down on sticky stuff again. So all these things are coming together to eliminate the horrible, dreadful 3-2 outcome baseball that everybody hates and nobody wants. And, it's easy to blame analytics for it, but there's a lot of things that played into this, a lot of things, and they're doing their best to correct it. And I think it's working so far. I think it's great. We saw the first weekend of baseball that looked a lot like it came straight out of the late 90s. Yeah. It was fantastic. Yeah. So I think it's great.
It has been fun, hasn't it? I mean, it is.
Yeah.
I think you actually said it perfectly. It's taken right out of the late 90s. We're stealing bases again. We're getting them on, getting them over, getting them in. We're not relying on that 3-run home run. Pitchers are working fast.
We're cutting down on the excessive strikeouts. Like now we're going back to the strikeout that matters, the one you want to see, right? As opposed to the, everybody's striking out. And if they're not striking out, they're walking.
Irby, what else you got for us?
Well, the other one is, and it seems like this has been going on since the 90s, the late 90s. I know it was more of a 2000 thing. Now that we've had our first suspension of the year with Mr. Rendon sitting down 4 games. Be curious to see if the Angels continue to win without him. They were successful with that last year. Maybe it continues here. But it's less on that aspect. There's no point in getting into it. Everyone's seen the video. We all know what happens there. It's more, is it me? Or does this always seem to happen in Oakland? Like we had, I mean, all the way back to Frankie Francisco throwing chairs, but it's always in Oakland. What's going on in Oakland? There's only like 4,000 people there against, but still, it seems like the fight and the issues with the fans are always coming out of Oakland. So maybe we shouldn't leave Oakland. Keep it around.
Smith, he's got a point. Because, I guess if you're an A's fan, maybe you just need to look in the mirror and say, maybe it's you, since it always happens to you. There's different players involved. There's different factors, but the one common denominator is it's always you. So maybe just a message to Oakland, wherever you build your new stadium, be it Vegas or Madagascar, wherever you build it, maybe don't have fans quite so close where they can interact with the players.
Well, and I think that's probably the root of this. If we're talking about why is it specific to Oakland where these things seem to get really excessive. I mean, we've seen this, like I can remember 3 instances of this. There's the 2 in Oakland that you mentioned, and the other one being Miles Straw going into the stands last year at Yankee Stadium. But, he, of course, did not actually get into an altercation with anyone, so I don't know if that counts. But it's easy to, look at specific fan bases and say, I could see why an opposing player might go into the stands in New York. I could see why they might do it in Houston. And yet that's not where these are occurring. They're occurring in Oakland, the team that has the smallest draw, if you don't count the feral cats, of any team in baseball. So I think the problem is, look, a lot of players have talked about the fact that you have to walk to get into the clubhouse, the visitors clubhouse in Oakland. You basically have to walk through the crowd, essentially. It's really, really bad design. And while that's not necessarily where these incidents occurred, it does give the crowd an opportunity to get, let's say, way too aggressive with a player if they feel like it. And if that's already happening in and out of the clubhouse, then it increases the chances that somebody snaps later when some guy in the stands decides to pop off. And look, in defense of Anthony Rendon and even Frank Francisco, hecklers are like the worst. Like, they're awful. Like, hecklers think they're hilarious, and they're not. Nobody thinks it's funny. Players don't like it. Other fans don't like it. Like, when you see a heckler in the stand, every once in a while you'll find someone who's like legitimately funny about it. But these guys, the ones that sit up there and just ride some guy, you're a bum, you suck, your mom, your wife, blah, blah, blah. Nobody thinks that's entertaining. So the fan is always the problem. Like, it's the players don't just go up there because somebody booed them or told them they stunk. Like, this is because somebody said something really egregious to them. So I don't know that Anthony Rendon or Frank Francisco is somebody who we would look at and say, wow, well, that guy was really a problem person in this way. Like, neither one of them has that. We can name off a lot of players who would be a lot more likely to, I don't know, just randomly assault someone. I mean, like, we've never seen, I don't know, Chris Sale has yet to go into the stands, right? Like, he seems like a bit of a problem person.
That's valid. Yeah,
like,
that's true.
There you go.
To me, I think this is bad luck on essentially whoever is the person who unfortunately has to hear. And Miles Straw was very candid about why he went into the stands, and it was because there were racial slurs and other things being yelled at an injured teammate, and then they threw trash at him. So, when players do this, usually they have a good reason, and I know you're not allowed to attack the fans or whatever, but it is hard to feel bad for a guy who is up there saying awful things to somebody and trying to provoke them, who then instantly turns himself into a victim when the player decides he's not going to take it.
Mess around and find out, right?
Herbie. There you go.
Anything you want to add there, Herbs?
No, I thank you for saying that point, because you're absolutely right about the players. You're always, unfortunately, the player's always going to be the bad guy, regardless of what's happened, because we can't hear what's being said. But as the research is found, we find out more and more. We find out that exactly that of the hecklers, and the heckler. It's like they're like the elementary school class clown.
Yes.
Who thinks that everybody's laughing with them? It's like, no, we're laughing at you.
Yeah.
You never grew up. You never grew up, and you think you're funny, and I know it is. I'm with you too, and it's. But, I still, in preparation for this, I did watch the Frankie Francisco video earlier today, and it just brought joy, because it is that moment of, there's a chair. He just threw a chair.
The chair comes out of nowhere.
Well, and it's true, is the chair doesn't hit the lady straight on. It hits someone before, then it hurts her, but she falls down like she got shot by a sniper, which is also another level of
Lionel Messi flop right there.
Yeah.
On that lady. Like, go watch the video, guys. Seriously.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, I know you're not allowed. Please don't go around hitting people with folding chairs. You're not allowed to do that. It's not like in fake wrestling. You can really hurt someone, blah, blah. But, like, man, that lady, that was quite from start to finish. That's all I have to say about that.
The next day, her and her lawyer, and she's all bandaged up with her nose, and
oh, I'm sure she had the neck brace on and everything, and the bridge over the nose. Oh, absolutely.
Oh man, we could talk all night about that incident, but we got to move on. All right, so one of the other fun things that's great about opening week is the overreaction to what has happened, which is my first thing. We obviously just talked about the Rays, which is the biggest overreaction right now in baseball. But I've got a couple for you guys. I want you to let me know like where you're at on this. Is it a true overreaction? Is it more not necessarily an overreaction, but a stretch? You let me know where I'm at here. So we're going to start with one that is more game wide, and I'm talking about the Phillies and their start. Because you've heard the World Series hangover has been spread all over the place. I'm going to say that it is an overreaction, that people are going a little far with it, because they ran into an upstart Rangers team that's feeling really good about themselves right now in a weird opening weekend series. And then they go to New York to play the Yankees. So it sucks. I feel bad for the Phillies right now because of how they open, but it's not like they got a cupcake schedule, Samantha, like the Rays got.
Yeah, I also think you can tell the difference between a team that's just like, whoa, you guys are off to like a bad start, but you're going to be fine. Like, this is a good team that's playing badly. And a team like, for example, like the Mets, where you're like, I think you're really in trouble. You have a huge starting pitching problem happening.
Yeah.
Like, that feels very real to me, and I'll come back to that one in a minute if you don't have that on your list. But to me, yeah, the Phillies thing is an overreaction. I think they're going to be fine. I think they ran into a Rangers team that was a lot better than they and a lot of other people were expecting, and got surprised, panicked, and melted down. They're going to be fine.
I don't have them on my list, but I am going to ask each of you for an overreaction of your own. So just put that in your pocket. The other one, this actually hit today. This is my personal. I'm calling it a reaction because I am throwing this out there. You tell me if I'm overreacting. Okay. Grayson Rodriguez is going to be the first pitcher, Irby, developed by the Orioles to be a top of the rotation starter since Mike Mussina.
Since John Means is hurt right now, I have to say yes. I think Kramer is going to be their better one, but since right now they've been leading off with Kyle Gibson, yes, Grayson Rodriguez is going to be an improvement over that. Sure, outing today was good. I wish the kid nothing but success. He's had some rough outings, and so the thing with Grayson Rodriguez is limiting the bad inning. Mm-hmm. That's been the issue before. Is the crooked inning. So that's, if he's figured that out, sure, this one's going to work. But hey, good first start. Not terrible, not bad. Hey, you got the job done. So build from there slowly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and that's the problem. If Baltimore is going to start leaning on him to be the guy this season, it's going to be a problem. But can he be the guy eventually? Yeah, maybe. I liked what I saw last year from Means, but it's not bad to have two of those.
And just for good measure, before I go back to Samantha about her answer to this, I forgot to ask you about the Phillies. Is that an overreaction? Calling it a World Series hangover, is that an overreaction for you?
Oh, that one. I know that's the beauty of opening week. That's the funness of that one. I mean, my gosh, if you'd have told me, if we'd have sat here, a week ago talking about, oh, we're so excited, I'd be like, yeah, right now, guys, Rangers are going to drop 29 on the Phillies, and they're going to win. They're going to sweep them. 29 runs, and they're going to sweep them. You guys would be laughing me off this show. So yes, that's a fun overreaction of you hit a buzzsaw. Don't worry about it. I got 3 series with Cincinnati, Miami, and Cincinnati. So if you don't correct it here soon, we're going to have that conversation in 2 weeks.
All right. Samantha, anything you want to add about Grayson Rodriguez before we get your overreaction?
I just don't think we know at this point. I mean, he's made one start, and that's great and all, and he had a good start, and I think that's very encouraging. But, we're a long way from being able to say whether he is truly going to be a fantastic player, whether he's going to be the next Mike Mussina or whatever. So, yeah, I think that's an overreaction for sure. I know it's tempting because the Orioles, and they have perhaps not conducted themselves particularly well in terms of being disingenuous about how much effort they were putting into making this team competitive this year. So it looked like it might be a service time issue, but he really did struggle in spring training, and he struggled with AAA last year. We mentioned the beginning. That's been a big problem for him. So he can straighten all that out. I think he's going to be fine. But as to whether he's really going to be something true, the Orioles will finally have developed it for the very, very legitimate 8th pitcher. Jury's still out. Impossible to say at this point.
I don't know. I like this stuff. I really like this stuff. It got out of the zone on him a few times. That got him in trouble.
It's early. One start.
I know.
One start.
Hey, this is the whole. I'm just overreacting. It's what I'm supposed to do opening week. I get to overreact, and I really like this stuff. I'm also happy the Rangers won, but hey, I really like the kids' stuff. Okay, so one more before we get into the time capsule. I want to talk to you guys about. Really, you just brought up the service time issue we've seen recently in baseball, Samantha. Well, we had a lot of rookies on opening day rosters this year. Is that all, Samantha? Is that all the CBA, or is there something more to it?
I mean, it kind of seems like it, right? I mean,
yeah.
We're going to get, if you ask any team about this, they're going to say, oh, no, it's just that this time our guy was ready, so of course we called him up. And you're like, But isn't it a little weird that everybody's guy was ready, like, right away before there could be any service time questions after we had a CBA that said, like, hey, you're really not allowed to do this anymore. We're trying to prevent you from doing this weird, right? So, yeah, I think this is the CBA doing exactly what it was designed to do.
Irby, how about you? Is this all CBA? Or did the front offices of these teams finally realize what they were doing was not exactly the correct way to go?
I mean, same thing. You're never going to get the real answer. So let's just say, yeah, it's the CBA. This is finally corrected for them instead of them correcting. And then you get and then there's the positive, and this goes back to what you said about Grayson Rodriguez, who just got called up today, who was not going to be. Mm-hmm. It's because of Baltimore having to throw their fifth starter a couple days ago, had to go 4 innings.
Right. Yeah.
So once they did that, sure, then you had to pivot and come with a different plan. So good job on them and getting him up there instead of grabbing some 34-year-old who shouldn't even be pitching at AAA. Like, nobody wants to see that. Let's get the kid up there. Good job.
It was a lot of fun too, wasn't it? Seeing these kids on opening day rosters, Samantha. Like, I enjoyed that because the kids always bring such a different energy when they come up. So to have that on top of opening day, that was fun.
Oh, yeah, I think it's fantastic, and we got, two of the big ones, Jordan Walker in St. Louis and Anthony Volpe in New York. Like, these are fun young players. Like, we've been, if you follow minor league baseball at all, if you kind of pay attention to the front systems, these are guys that we've been interested in. And they're not the only ones either. Those were just the headliners, Like, it's so exciting, I think, to get these kids up there and to kind of see what they can do and just kind of love that on top of a great opening weekend for baseball in so many other ways. That the pitch clock is working. We're seeing really fun, exciting baseball, and then we've got all these young kids coming up who are going to be the future of the game. And I think it's fantastic. I think this is a win for everybody.
Irby, anything you want to add there before you take us into the time capsule?
No, I'm it's just us Rangers. We're getting the same thing, the same joy. It's just a year later because Mr. Josh Young is not carrying any labrums lately, so that helps.
Well, he looks good too, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, it is time capsule time. So, Irby, what do you have for us this week?
Yeah. All right. So, I'm excited about this one that I kind of got to put together, and it became even more fun for me last night putting this one together. So as I mentioned earlier, I got to go to the Ranger game Tuesday night and went with a few friends of mine and listeners of the show, Kevin, and then a friend Dallas. And you guys know these as well from other acquaintances as well, but Dallas and Kevin. And then Vincent, who is a mutual friend of ours. So Vincent is from Montreal, a longtime Expos fan. Can't do that one anymore. And then now he is a Red Sox fan because he had to pivot and find something else. But he is also very hopeful to have a baseball team back in Montreal at some point. But in honor of finally, yeah.
He didn't want to pivot to the Marlins?
No, he did not. He did not want to. So
okay.
But last night, meeting Vincent in honor of meeting him and his family, wonderful spending time with them. I wanted to talk about the World Series win that never happened. Oh. And that was the 1994 Montreal Expos.
Yeah. There we go.
Beautiful youth team. I knew it was a young team. I think we all knew that. I didn't realize that Jeff Facero, starting pitcher, was the only regular over the age of 30. Everybody else was under 30. The starting eight, the hitting eight, all under the age of 28 or younger. Marquise Grissom, Moises Alou, Cliff Floyd, Larry Walker, Will Cordero, some guy named Pedro Martinez, Ken Hill, John Wetland, Mel Rojas, Gil Herrera. I mean, I keep a beautiful, youthful team. So I that's what I wanted to throw that. We can't, going through this, we don't have a 1994 World Series, but let's just go ahead and say 94 World Series would have been the Expos in Montreal. So I don't know if you guys want to, anything y'all remember on that, or you want to add before I give you the other ones? Nothing on that. That was a fun. They did the strike season for those that don't. It was the strike short season.
Yeah. What he's not saying, I mean, he has to say, we don't know that it would have been Montreal. We don't know that.
I do.
Okay,
I do.
That's fair, but because there was no World Series, I feel like we are allowed to take that leap. And I agree with Irby. I think it would have been Montreal to win it that year. That was an impressive base. And it actually kind of sucks because the strike killed baseball in Montreal. Can you imagine if there was no strike?
Yes.
And that team had gone on to win the World Series in '94. What baseball would be like in Montreal right now?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the million-dollar question, right? Would that team have been constructed if the strike hadn't happened?
Right.
Probably not. There was a lot going on there that was, I think, unduly affected by that strike, like more so than other cities. So it really does make you wonder. I mean, it's terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. I mean, I love the Nationals, and it's great as a baseball team in Washington, but Montreal really didn't need to lose their team.
Nope.
And I definitely like the Expos more than the Blue Jays, so there's that.
There you go. So celebrate. So there we go. We got the World Series done. 1994 Super Bowl.
That was Niners, wasn't it? No,
It was the Cowboys.
no. I was thinking 94-95 seasons. I always do that. Yeah, it's Cowboys-Bills. Cowboys and Bills in Atlanta. 95, at the end of 94-95 season. That was Niners-Chargers.
Mm-hmm. So, and that was the Bills, their fourth straight. Bo, do you remember the score?
I want to say 28-17 or something like that.
You gave Buffalo too much credit. 30-13.
Oh.
And then MVP?
Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, it was Emmitt.
There you go.
Eggman was.
There you go.
Yeah, Eggman was the year before.
All right, so NBA Finals?
That was Rockets.
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 Maybe? Rockets Knicks?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because that was the year before the Magic made it. That was the Rockets' first year of their back-to-back.
Yeah.
That was the first of the back of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rockets, Knicks, Houston did it in seven. Stanley Cup. Switch over to hockey.
Okay, that was
Kind of a big one.
Yeah, that
I'll
was.
just mute myself.
94. Wasn't that the Rangers?
There you go. New York Rangers ending their 54-year drought.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, who did they beat? Was it the Kings, was it?
No, that was a good young team as well. That wasn't right where to be. Vancouver Canucks.
Oh.
They did it also in 7, but yes, that was the iconic Mark Messier celebrating with the confetti falling, and there you go. All right, so 94. This is also a World Cup year.
Yes, it was. If I'm not mistaken, was that the one that was in Dallas?
Well, there were games in Dallas. Yes, this was hosted in the United States, but they all ended out in Pasadena, the Rose Bowl. But go with the obvious when trying to guess the two in the finals.
Brazil and
Argentina.
Yeah.
And we
Brazil won.
Same spot.
Brazil won, yes, but no, they in PKs they defeated Italy. So
talk about a chalk World Cup.
Yeah, no kidding. This is also 94. This is the beginning of the split in the Olympics. 1992, we had Summer and Winter Olympics. In 94, 2 years later, we had Winter Olympics again. You guys remember where it was?
Lillehammer?
Very good. Lillehammer. You know where Lillehammer is, right?
Norway?
Norway, there we go. Good job. Yes.
For the record, I did not.
Yeah, hey, two major stories in there. One if you were in the U.S. and the rest of the world. The other if you were in cross-country skiing countries. Do you guys know the main story that everyone talked about?
Is this the Tanya Harding incident?
Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. All those shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I remember the attacker and not the victim.
Right. That's it. The other one, while the whole world was talking about that, going on a big deal in the home country of Norway was the men's 4x10 kilometer cross country skiing event. Mm-hmm. Big deal in Norway. I know as much as I watched this, I probably have pawn this off on you guys. Amazing race. Norway, Italy, and Finland all came down to the end. Norway held off Italy by 0.4 seconds to win the gold medal. But the kicker here, there were 150,000 people in attendance watching that relay cross-country event.
Wow.
So,
I'm sorry, that just can't compete with Jeff Gillooly and Tommy Harding, the telescope.
it's true. It's true.
And the broken skate lace.
Yeah.
No, that was the gift that kept on giving.
It was. Golf. There was a young amateur. Tiger Woods won the U.S. Amateur at age of 18 in 1994. College football for BCS. Any idea who won all that?
94.
Florida State.
Florida State won the Orange Bowl. You remember who they beat?
Nebraska.
Woo! You want to go for it all and guess the score too?
Hey,
This was a wide left here, was I? This was a wide left here, right? But no, I don't remember.
I tell you what, Samantha, if you want to just toss a guess out there, I will award an additional jar of dirt.
Oh, and the score? I have no idea. I think this was the wide left here. I was a big Florida State fan at this point in time, if you can't tell. I don't know why. I suppose we were all Florida State fans because the other choice was Nebraska, but I was very big into Florida State for a couple of years there. But yeah, no, I have no idea what the score was. I know it was close.
No. It was 18-16 was the final. Not a lot of offense in that one. Charlie Ward led that Florida State Seminoles team and also won the Heisman that year.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Last one before we get into our movies and music, college basketball, men's college basketball.
Wasn't this a Duke year?
Duke is the team that lost.
What did Duke lose to?
Oh, it's Connecticut.
No? Good guess.
No?
I believe Connecticut was the next season.
Connecticut one right here. Okay.
This was the coach was well known for the way he played defense. And that he was going to put you through 40 minutes in hell.
Is the Bob Knight thing?
No, not that crazy. This would be Nolan Richardson's Arkansas Razorbacks.
Oh. I would
Sure,
never
never
have
heard
got
of the
that.
guy. Okay.
Arkansas beat Duke 76-72 that night, which I think is kind of funny when you talk 40 minutes of hell, but you gave up 72 points. I don't know. Maybe I'm...
I don't know.
I thought 18-16 would be that.
I don't know. Listen to Pig Suey for 40 minutes. That sounds like hell to me.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so you guys, as always, to leave it to you, movies or music. What do you want to start off with?
I mean, we have to start with movies, don't we, Bo?
Yeah.
It helps us with the music. I feel like we always start this way.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is some solid choices this year.
All right, 94.
No pressure.
Let's see. 94.
I think this is, I know one, although I don't. Is Santa Claus in there?
Yes, the original Santa Claus
That was 94? Wow.
Yeah.
was released November 11th, 1994, and it finished 4th on our list.
Well, of course it did. It's a great movie. I just didn't realize it was that old. I was thinking that was like late 90s, early 2000s. Wow, 94. Okay.
Possibly my favorite movie of all time.
All right.
It's funny everything you can know about my taste in movies. Either that or Blades of Glory.
Let's see. 94.
So this is Lion King, right? Lion King?
Boom. Number 1, Lion King. So there's our first jar of dirt.
Yeah.
First jar of dirt, Lion King. Oddly enough, Lion King released in 1994, 295 million grossed. It was number 1 in 1994, but when you compare it to all time, number 2 in 1994 actually ended up making more money. It was released on July 6th, a month
I
later.
don't know what this is. Is it Forrest Gump?
Is it Independence
Boom,
Day?
good one too, right there. Forrest Gump at number
Oh,
2.
Forrest Gump. Right. Okay. 94. Is this Aladdin? Is that the Aladdin year?
No, we already got our Disney.
Okay.
Before.
We got our Disney with the Lion King. You're good on your Disneys.
Okay.
Lion King and Santa Claus. You got your Disneys. No more Disneys hiding here.
All right.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, I think it is.
No, not a Dumb and Dumber, but you might have one of the actors right
Oh, Speed.
in the top. Well,
Speed was 94.
yes, that's true. That is definitely a switch from comedy
So
to.
the math, then. If you want.
There you go. Good job, guys. Well done right there. Speed comes in at number 7 with Jeff Daniels from Dumb and Dumber and Keanu Reeves. And at number 8, Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Wow. This
That's
was a
funny.
great year. This was a great year for movies. Okay.
You still got a
That
couple
is
big
not
ones.
Great.
Is-
That is a terrible, terrible movie. The
Is
rest of them are pretty good, though.
is there a Batman or a Star Trek in 94?
No Batman, no Star Trek.
Okay.
Is
No
there
race there.
either Hook or Mrs. Doubtfire?
Mrs. Doubtfire coming in at number 9.
Yeah.
What was
Interesting thing with Mrs. Doubtfire, that movie was released Thanksgiving weekend
Okay, thank you.
in 1994, and it made $110 million, and that wasn't even half of what it grossed. So definitely a post-New Year big boost with that one.
Okay, what else was there in 94?
So you guys are doing great, man.
You any of those
You're missing-
Christian movies?
Ooh, keep going. There you go. There you go.
Okay, so, all right, it's too late, so the firm is before this, so it would have to be the Client or the Pelican Brief, I guess.
Probably the Pelican Brief.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, well, hold on. So it is a client. Your client is 13th. I messed up for a second. I had the wrong author. John Grisham's top movie that year was The Client at 13. I had a different, very popular author, similar type genres.
Oh, I know. You want the Tom Clancy, right?
Tom Clancy, yes. Sorry about
So
that.
this is not Patriot Games, the other one. Clear and Present Danger.
Clear and Present Danger coming in at number 6.
It's a good movie.
Good Harrison Ford
Yeah, it's a good
right
film.
there.
I like both of those.
So yeah, look at you guys. All right, so you're missing 3, 5, and 10.
All right, 3, 5, and 10.
I'm impressed.
3, 5, and 10. Okay.
What was that?
And you're also going to love the honorable mention list too if you don't hit any of these. The honorable mention list is almost as good.
Oh, is Pulp Fiction? Is Pulp Fiction this year?
Pulp Fiction came in at 19.
Wow.
Ah, okay.
Wow. Well, that was early Quentin Tarantino. He wasn't as big of a deal yet, was
Very
he?
early.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. He was barely removed from working at the video rental store in 94.
So we've got, all right, what I'm looking at, definitely a non-stop action upon action on top of action movie.
Oh.
We've got a, yeah, and then when there was a pause in this movie, there was more action. And then we've got a kind of a
It's too late for Commando.
yeah, kind of a reboot of a family favorite, and I guess this would be a drama. Is your other one?
Okay, so 94. Let's see. Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Bruce Willis. Any of those in there?
I would stick with one of those 3. Yes.
Well, that's not very
Okay.
helpful.
So, all right. Demolition Man, Eraser, True Lies.
True Lies. Yeah, I was thinking True Lies.
There it is. True Lies,
Nice.
number 3.
Great movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Great movie.
What was his line when he fires the missile? You're fired. It was one of the originals.
Oh, wait a minute. Was there a Lethal Weapon here, too?
Oh, yeah.
No, not a Lethal Weapon year. No, because you're down to a drama that I've actually never seen. And then a remake of a family favorite that we did watch. The generation a little bit older than us definitely enjoyed this, but then they remade it into the original. Nowadays, we see lots of cartoon to live action. This was probably one of the originals.
Oh, okay. So it's a cartoon to live action. It's family. Okay. Okay. Look at his face.
Flintstones?
It's not Disney, right? So
There it is, Bo.
Flintstones.
The Flintstones.
Good job.
Nice.
Good job. I don't think I would have gotten that. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. That was the one with like Rosie O'Donnell in it, right?
Yes, Rosie O'Donnell, John Goodman, Rick Moranis.
It was such good casting outside of her. Like, it really was. It was such good casting, except for Rosie O'Donnell, who was just not a good Betty. I'm sorry. Like, nothing against Rosie O'Donnell, but she was not a good Betty.
She wasn't terrible, but whatever. All right, so you got a number 10. Number 10, drama.
All right, drama.
I feel like I can give you the actor, but you're going to get eventually just because the volume that he's done. But this is definitely not what he would be considered for. And this was a
Dramatic
Tom
actors.
Cruise movie.
It's a Tom Cruise movie. 94.
Is it too early for Mission Impossible? It's not a drama anyway, it's action.
No, I believe Mission Impossible is the next year, but that's, or 96. It might have been 96.
Yeah.
It's not Days of Thunder, is it? No, that's 88.
Far and Away?
Oh.
No. Good guess. Good guess.
Can't think of any other dramas.
Yeah, me either. I'm struggling with that because the only dramas I can think of are all 80s films.
Mm-hmm. Or they come way late. It's like way late. The rest are all action movies.
All right, I'm pulling up my cast. Okay, so to help you with the cast also, build with him, Brad Pitt.
Oh, Irby, this isn't a drama. It's a horror movie.
Okay.
Is this Interview with a
I haven't seen it.
Drama.
Is this Interview with a Vampire?
Yeah.
Yes, Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, that would be horror.
Yeah.
Per, in my defense, per IMDb, it is listed drama, horror, fantasy. So I should have said drama, horror. But I'm not.
Comedy horror? I don't know.
No, that genre exists. That genre exists. Yeah, there was this.
Yes.
There was this, what was that movie called?
Oh, sure, like Army of Darkness or Shaun of the Dead.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Army of Darkness. There you go. All right, to blow out the honorable mentions, like I said, lots of great stuff in 1994. It didn't take 11 Maverick, 12 Schindler's List. You mentioned The Client. 14 was Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
16 Ace Ventura. We got Pulp Fiction at 19. Grumpy Old Men at 20. 25 The Little Rascals.
Oh, yeah.
29, Angels in the Outfield. Interesting cast. If you haven't seen that movie, go look up that cast.
That's a heck of a cast.
Yeah.
A heck of a cast. I always forget the kid and what he is now. Yeah.
Yeah. 31, The River Wild.
Oh,
I like that movie.
Great
That's
film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So underrated.
32, D2, The Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah. 37, Tombstone.
How's that number 37 with that cast?
I'm with you.
What was the release
43. December 24th, but
that's it. Yeah.
it made 40 of its 56 million right off the bat. So that one definitely didn't get a lot of love in 94. Bad timing for when it came out. 43, Major League 2. I know not your favorite, Bo, but we're getting there, right? We're getting there.
It just doesn't have the comedic value that 3 had. So
There you go. Yeah, and then we'll wrap it up there. All the way down at 73, Little Giants.
73. Ouch.
73, Little Giants. Not a lot of love
Never
for
seen it.
the little Giants.
Yeah, Smith.
Oh, Rick Moranis on here.
I don't know. I don't know if you would have liked it, Smith. Honestly, that doesn't seem like your cup of tea.
And I assume that's what I figured at the time. I've never seen Angels in the Outfield either.
Yeah, of the two, you probably enjoy Angels in the Outfield more. Just knowing your tastes.
Okay.
A very young Matthew McConaughey in that movie. Not quite as young as Dazed and Confused, but right about that time.
Well, that'll put me off. Okay.
But all right, so well done on the movies. I'm impressed. Y'all did really well. A lot of good stuff. You guys, well done. Well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. So we will move on to music, in which I'm very confident in you guys. And also, the bad news is the movies didn't really help you out here.
Rat.
Okay, hang on though. Wasn't there a jar of dirt in the movie section that we need to award?
Yes,
here?
yes. Samantha's got part of the jar of dirt. She's got one of them.
All right. Okay, so 94, Whitney Houston's got to be in there, right?
Oddly enough, Whitney does not break
Wow.
the top 10.
I
Wow.
said Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Mariah does.
Okay, let me think.
94.
So it's what, Without You or Hero or...
There you go. Hero.
Hero.
Hero?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hero comes in at number 5.
Okay. I think I got...
Well, is there another
I might have...
is there another Mariah Carey, or is it just that one?
No, Without You comes in at 16.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I have some guesses. This is from a movie, actually. What happened to that? It's like a Musketeer movie or whatever, but it's the song. It was like a Bryan Adams song. Well, Bryan Adams and Sting, All for Love or whatever. Was it Don Juan?
Very good.
Yeah, and that was
All for Love.
that was
Bryan Adams, Sting, and Rod Stewart.
Yeah,
Rod Stewart. That was the other one. Okay.
I think that was
Yes.
that was the title track for the Three Musketeers made by Disney.
You are correct. Both. Well done. Well done.
Well
yes,
done.
that was indeed.
Well done.
That comes in at number 8. So yes, that is from a movie. But
Don Juan DeMarco was the other song. That's right. The Have You Ever? What is it? I don't know. I don't remember. But also Bryan Adams, I believe. He don't know that. Also, I have another guess. I think Lisa Loeb, Stay. I know that was
Lisa Loeb and 9 Stories coming and Stay at number 6.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Job.
Ooh.
And then I want to guess Ace of Base.
Have yourself another jar of dirt.
The
Ace
Sign?
of Base.
What?
The Sign. Number 1
That was
song.
Number one.
Yikes. Oh my gosh. I mean, it was catchy, but
It was catchy, but hey, you want to know what, too, guys? Keep going.
Oh, with the Ace of Base?
Keep going with Ace of Base.
Oh, so All That She Wants.
Yeah.
All That She Wants coming in at number 9. Hey, guess what, guys? Keep going.
God, was that the only album released in 1994?
Also, was it the only album released by Ace of Base? I mean, wait, so are you saying there's another one?
Keep going.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, is it the summer song?
Nope.
No.
Let's see. I'll get there.
The sign, all she wants. That's the only song I can think of.
Don't turn around.
Don't turn around. Comes in at number 10.
Yeah.
Ace of Base, 1, 9, and 10. Got to give it to the Swedes. Got to give it to the Swedes.
Wow. Okay.
I am so glad you guys named it one by one. I wanted to do it just like that too. I'm like, there you got it. Now keep going. You got another. Keep going. That is it. There is no more Ace of Base.
Wow.
I would hope not.
How about salt and pepper? Is this Shoop?
Shoop.
Um,
Love that song.
no, Salt and Pepper Shoop comes in at number 29. They do. They also Waterman comes in at 14.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone's listening to the Ace of Base. Sorry.
Man, that was back when pop was awesome.
So yeah, you got one. You got your jar of dirt. You've got 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10.
How about some early Celine Dion?
I was just about to say.
There we go.
That's really funny.
There we go. You got some Celine.
So, is it If You Ask Me To or Power of Love? I think those are the first.
The Power of Love.
Yeah, that was big at the middle school dances.
Yes.
Oh,
Power of Love.
We were all waiting for it. Yes, I was wearing flat socks with Birkenstocks at that dance. And someone asked me to dance anyway. Ha.
But yes, the Power of Love by Celine Dion coming in at number 4.
Yeah.
Oh, Celine, good for you.
Yeah.
All right. Pop was better back then. You're right.
Pop was a lot better back
It was
then.
way better. Like, even the
Speaking
bad pop was better. Like, the bad stuff was good, you know? Like, I respect it.
What
I
about
respect that.
what about the King of Pop? What about Michael Jackson?
Ooh.
No Michael this time around. No, I'm not seeing. I'm seeing Janet coming in. Not in our top 10. Janet checks in at 12 with Again, and then she later checks in at, where are you, Janet? Anytime, Any Place at number 30.
I don't even think I know what that one is. Okay. Oh man, wait. Is this regulators? Is this the regulators here for
No.
Nate Dogg?
Good guy. No regulators up at our top. That would have been, but
No,
Regulate. No. You got the year. They did
Oh.
not make the top. Sorry. Warren G and Nate Dogg, Regulate, popped off at 22. We'll sad by that.
He deserves better.
Yeah. Kind of even deflating when you think I can throw this one out because I know you're never going to get it 10,000 to 1. But John Mellencamp's Wild Night came in at 15. So John Mellencamp ahead of Warren G and Nate Dogg. That's weird.
Seems late for him.
Yeah.
I feel like he's past his prime by then. But
What do we have left, Herbs?
yeah.
2, and 3, and 7.
2, 3, and
2,
7.
3, and 7.
So
Okay.
2 and 3. The groups 2 and 3, not the same, but very similar music styles. And number 7, she is an American R&B singer.
That really narrows it down.
Not okay. We had a lot of problems with this last time it came up.
Just 2 names, doesn't go by a single name.
Is
There,
it the
that.
same person? Wait. Is it the same person as the last time we had that hit and we couldn't figure it out? Is it Tony Braxton again? Please tell
Very
me.
good, Tony Braxton.
Wow.
I was just guessing because that was the same thing you told us last time and we couldn't figure it out and it turned out to be Tony Braxton.
So there's no chance I have notes on here of that. No, not at all.
Okay.
Yes, Tony Braxton. Do you know the song for her in 1994?
I can probably figure it out. Okay. So, is it called Breathe?
Breathe Again. Well done.
Breathe
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
You actually just triggered me because there's a line in True Lies that mentions Madonna. Is Madonna on this list?
Oh.
Good guessing there. No, Madonna comes in. She tops off at 13 with I'll Remember.
I love that song.
Oh, that's from With Honor. That's
Yeah.
the one with the movie. It's With Honor.
Great movie.
Yeah, that is
Great
a
movie. I tell you what. I tell you what. We're going to talk overreaction. I think that's Joe Pesci's best role.
I am not going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
Actually.
There you go.
Yeah.
But you see, so yeah, all right, so before we get 2 and 3, also, your number 1 movie, Lion King, Can You Feel the Love Tonight was the highest Lion King by Elton John, topped off at 18.
Wow.
So as you see, your top 10 movies.
Not a great Disney song.
No, this is true. But I kind of wish Hakuna Matata was a little higher, but I didn't get to do all the voting.
You're also a little biased.
There were actually several songs that were better in that one. Like I Have a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts, which is sort of a song. It is definitely better than one small one was the song you had. I don't know if I have the words right. I have a lovely bunch of
All right, so we're just 2 and 3. We're 2 and 3 away. I stick with the pop mindset that y'all were having. That hit you with the ace of base.
I'm really stuck on the Lion King right now because I realize there's another song in there. The Are Yakin. Yep. For some bacon.
He's a big pig. You could be a big pig too. Good stuff. Thank you, Nathan Lane.
Oh God, that's right. Nathan Lane did voice.
Timon.
Thank you.
Timon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who
I forgot about that.
I don't know. All right. We're getting really distracted. Let's just go through the entire cast of Lion King, and I'm going to be singing that song all night.
All right, so Ace of Base-esque.
S. Keywords S.
So it's girls. Okay.
Spice Girls?
Too early.
Too early?
No. Yeah. Let's stick with that pop.
Girl group?
No.
Oh, so not Ace of Base. I'm confused.
But the Ace of Base wasn't just girls. It was girls and guys.
There were guys in that band?
There were 2 guys, yeah.
Really?
Wait, there were more than 2 people? Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I thought it was 2 girls. That's really funny.
Wow. Alright, so,
things you don't know.
It helped. Their names were Johannes and Ulf.
all right,
Yeah.
so
Oh, I'm sorry, that's so disrespectful to me. So bad about this. I own that CD too. I'm now we're Wolf.
I mean,
Or Johannes.
technically speaking, Milli Vanilli had their backup singers was 1 guy and 2 women.
No.
Okay.
No.
Nelson.
So I'm going to add to your pop. You guys you've got a group here. You've got groups. We've got pop. I'm going to add R&B pop. I'm going to add R&B to that pop. So R&B pop.
So this has to be like Jodeci or All for One or what is those?
All for One.
Shy?
There you go.
Oh,
Stay with All for One. I swear. Comes in at number 2.
Oh God, that's right.
Doesn't that show up again way later when that country band redid it? It's the same song. They covered
Exact
it.
same
Like
song
Brooks
they covered it.
Brooks and Dunn or something.
No,
Yeah,
that was John Michael Montgomery.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah.
I forgot about. What do you think he's up to these days? I forgot about him.
I don't know. We went to see Clay Walker a couple months ago. He's still doing good.
Walker. Is he the guy in that song Little Rock?
No,
that was Colin somebody.
Yeah, no. Clay Walker I think he was always on his own.
Walker.
It was good though.
I don't even remember him.
Well,
I'm sure I do. I just can't place him right now. Okay, but he's not our guy. Okay. So
no, definitely not our guy. No.
not country.
No.
All right, so all for one. So we need another one. I mean, could it be?
And the last one, same thing.
Right?
No. Think harmonizing.
Boys to Men.
Boys to Men.
Ah. Okay, so. God, 94.
All right, so this is, and it's not the one with we already did the one with Mariah Carey. So this is like their second album, right? Yeah, so Water Runs Dry, I'll Make Love to You.
There it is. I'll Make Love to You. Boys to Men comes in at number 3.
Wow.
Not their best work, but okay.
It's really not.
Yeah. So some other interesting ones that are honorable mentions. Prince is the most beautiful girl in the world at number 19.
Oh man, we forgot about Prince. How did I forget about Prince?
Yeah, well, because it was 19. You're good. You're good. You're good. Yeah. Sheryl Crow's "All I Want to Do" at 34. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the first. Yeah, her first album came out.
I'll do "Anything for Love" by Meatloaf at 38.
But I won't
You
do
want
that.
something really funny? I listened to that song today. I'm serious. I listened to that today. I was like, I'm feeling Meatloaf, and I listened to that song today. It's very, very big on our 7th grade cheerleading spot.
Well, that might help with some of these other ones. And at number 42, "Whoop, There It Is" by Tag Team.
Oh yeah, because
Sometimes I forget that was a real song.
that was big in the second Mighty Ducks movie too.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Number 50, "Loser" by Beck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is a terrible song.
Yep. 54, "Streets of Philadelphia" by Bruce Springsteen.
Was that in Philadelphia? Did they use that in the movie?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah, all
Yeah.
right. We should have guessed that then.
Go back to your cheerleading, your dancing days. Yeah. "Tootsie Roll" by 69 Boys came in at number 65.
Another bad song. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, that was rough.
Yeah.
So, but let's just say that Hakuna Matata was up there too, but it's not. So, yes, 1994, amazing movie stuff and music dominated by the Swedes, "Ace of Base." That's our first one. 3 top 10s.
Oh yeah, it is.
I don't know what that says about us, like as a country in 1994, that the first time at any point during this time capsule segment that we hit three songs in the top 10 of the
Beautiful trivia. Beautiful information. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. And I'm going to have that "He's a Big Pig, You Can Be a Big Pig Too" in my head all night. That and the sign by Ace of Base. Maybe I'll mash it on.
I'm here for this. I am here for this.
Weird.
Oh man. Good time capsule there, Herbs. 94. 94. True. We actually have a True Lies series now. I have not decided in terms of whether I'm going to give it a shot or not.
Yeah, I'm a no. I'm going to stick with Arnold.
I feel like, yeah, I don't think I want to do that.
Because that's one of my favorite Arnold movies.
Not just him, but Tom Arnold as well as the comic relief.
Tom Arnold's hilarious in that film, and that's not a phrase I normally say.
I did see a good reference to True Lies the other day. Did y'all ever see Nathaniel Lowe when he accepted his Silver Slugger award? Go look up Nathaniel Lowe's Silver Slugger. The outfit that he's wearing looks like Bill Paxton in True Lies.
That's kind of amazing, actually. I need to do this. I can't figure out what this is going to be in my head, so I'm going to have to.
Oh, I can't.
But sing Hakuna Matata when you're looking up these pictures.
I'm nothing. I'm navel lent. I can see that scene right now in my head. Okay, I'm going to have to watch True Lies now. That's fine. I enjoyed that film. But that's going to do it for us. We're out of here. Don't forget, before you leave, to give us a like and a review and a subscribe. Help us out with that algorithm. Get some more lollygaggers in this bunch. Until next week, watch some baseball. It's good for you.
Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! If there's something friend.